What up, y'all?
Welcome back, Weenie.
All right, yeah, you good, bro. You should have access to a certain I got a channel you should have access to. You can see it in my Discord. It's not a public one, but you should be able to see it when you're ready. Until you come here, though, I'm so enthralled. Like, Ben Shapiro is ripping on Trump in the tariffs. And I seen Destiny was watching it. What's good, my boy?
Welcome back, Weenie.
Piers talked to Megyn Kelly. Oh, man. MAGA losing their damn mind. Oh, shit. We have to... I want to see, like, Ben Shapiro is actually, like, shitting on Trump. And I'm
one of the biggest tax increases on American consumers in the history of America. Is a very, very, it does not justify that. There is no national emergency because the United States buys more product from Thailand than we sell to Thailand.
I never thought I'd
That is not, in fact, a national emergency. Again, there are many reasons why tariffs can be good. Tariffing China to punish them, to try and cut them off from the world economy, good. This, by the way, is also why you sign a free trade agreement with all the nations that rim China.
True.
Tariffs for purposes of protecting national security-laden industries in the United States. Good and useful. We can't have outsourcing.
This is a good segue anyway, because these prices in Nintendo probably got something to do with these tariffs, so it's a good segue.
God forbid we need to produce things for a war or a pandemic or whatever. Tariffs in order to get other countries to drive down their own.
For those that's coming in, we are going to talk about the Switch too.
Again, I go back to
this is somewhat tangentially related, so don't be mad at me.
And why are we charging tariff rates on countries that don't have tariffs against us? Why? That's the tell. And so the question becomes, what this actually looks like in practice. Now, I've been a little bit catastrophist about this because I'm taking the Trump administration at their word. The reality is, I don't think that this thing gets implemented anything like it is currently being retailed to the public.
Oh, here's the final cope. Thank God.
In reality,
oh my God,
the Trump administration is likely to bulldoze holes right through this tariff regime in the areas that it figures is going to most hurt Americans, and is likely to try and leverage headlines out of various foreign nations suggesting they're going to invest in America to the tune of some billions of dollars before lowering the tariff rates again. Because, as I've said before, I do have faith that President Trump actually responds to headlines and responds to the news. He lives in the world of reality, and it would not be living in the world of reality for him to simply ignore if markets hate all of this, if costs start going up, if a recession is imminent.
True.
He does not want to preside over a recession, which is why, again, I think this policy is misbegotten. I also think President Trump is not going to implement it as currently stated.
Okay.
So what does this actually mean in practice? Well, the White House quietly put out a fact sheet yesterday to all of its embassies talking about what exactly President Trump is doing. So apparently, the tariffs will remain in effect until such a time as President Trump determines the threat posed by the trade deficit and underlying non-reciprocal treatment is satisfied, resolved, or mitigated. So he can unilaterally decide, hey, we solved the trade deficit, all done. So presumably, what does that mean? That means you got a few announcements from various countries saying that we're going to invest in the American economy. And then President Trump's like, big headline win, tariff gone. He could easily do that. I'm hoping that's what he is planning on doing. Also, there are some very key goods that are not actually going to be subjected to the tariffs, including, by the way, steel and aluminum articles, and auto parts, already subject to Section 232 tariffs. Copper, pharmaceuticals, semiconductors, and lumber articles. Okay, well, this shows you the bizarreness of this sort of tariff regime. One of the things that the tariffs were allegedly designed to do was reshore manufacturing of key components, like, for example, semiconductors.
I just don't understand how Trump said he was going to run on tariffs, and then now everybody's like, this tariff stuff is not good. Like, y'all voted for this fucking idiot, and now you're like, these tariffs make no sense. We said that when he was campaigning on tariffs. We said this shit is stupid.
Basically, the oil in the 21st century. They're the thing no one can operate without. So if you actually wanted to reshore through tariffing and protectionism, manufacturing of semiconductors, you would leave the tariffs on semiconductors. But he doesn't want to do that because it'll radically increase the price of every product that uses a semiconductor, ranging from your phone to your fridge. So he's exempting that. All articles that may become subject to future Section 232 tariffs, bullion, and energy, and other certain materials that are not available in the United States. So we're still going to be importing that Canadian gas, presumably, which, by the way, is the reason we have a trade deficit with Canada. We have a trade surplus for literally everything else except for gas. Like if you take away the gas in the American balance of trade with Canada, we have a surplus with Canada. Meanwhile, USMCA compliant goods will continue to see a 0% tariff. Non-USMCA compliant goods will see a 25% tariff. Non-USMCA compliant energy and potash will see a 10% tariff. Again, I do not think this policy is the long-lasting, durable, strictly imposed policy that is currently being laid out by the White House. I think President Trump is going to see how the markets react. He's not going to like it. He's going to start punching holes through this pretty much as fast as possible. But Democrats finally got their talking point. All they had to do was wait, and now they got it. The Democrats are saying the recession is coming. It is recession day, says Hakeem Jeffries, the House Minority Leader. Remember, Republicans have the barest of bare majorities in the House. Democrats just won the Wisconsin Supreme Court, which means that they're going to redistrict and add a couple of seats. So if there's any sort of recession at all, mildest recession, Democrats are taking the House. Here's Hakeem Jeffries looking more excited than he has in months.
Not a single administrative action has been done by Donald Trump, House Republicans or Senate Republicans, to lower the high cost of living in the United States of America. In fact, Republicans are crashing the American economy in real time and driving us to a recession.
To check out this Pierce versus Megyn Kelly.
This is not Liberation Day, it's Recession Day.
Well, he's certainly hoping it is. And herein lies
all the Dems molding, me included. When Hakeem Jeffries was like, guys, listen, let's just not do anything, and they'll fuck it all up on their own, trust me. And it's like, oh my God.
We don't have to guess.
Was he right?
They've been rooting for a recession. I mean, Democrats are rooting for a recession. So the number one thing you don't want to do is, jump on a rake. Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, who's been on the outs of his own party, he's looking pretty fresh and peppery as well in the aftermath of the announcement.
This map has how much each state would pay for this absurd, crazy, chaotic trade war. But the worst thing about it is that it so hurts American families. It is estimated that the average American family will pay more than $5,000 out of their pocket to pay for these tariffs.
Meanwhile, James Carville jumping on the bandwagon and torching President Trump over the tariff regime.
They're just Trump going power mad. He gets in there and he figures, I don't have to get approval from Congress. I don't need to bring it to a cabinet. I can just do this. And so the idea that he can just do something on his own unilaterally has great appeal to him. And then, of course, everybody's got to call him to get, because you can exempt people. And so he likes getting you up for the thing. He loves having foreign people all saying, can you exempt, finish steel from these tariffs or whatever it is.
I don't think you've been here since I found out I could give you a specific
character. It's just his ego playing itself out in public.
Now, let's say that that's right. Let's say that President Trump actually is able to get a bunch of countries to announce that they are reshoring American manufacturing or that they're going to lower their own tariffs. Okay, so he gets the win. If the proof is going to be in the pudding, as it always is, because the thing about economics, you can feel it in your pocketbook. Economic policy, you feel it at your kitchen table. Economic policy is the thing that you can tell every time you open up your grocery bill, every single time. So the proof's going to be in the pudding. If the prices go up, if your business is having trouble making payroll, if consumption goes down, if investment goes down, because investors are freaked out because they're getting whipsawed like nobody's business. Again, I was talking with investors pretty much all day yesterday, given what was going on. And the number one thing that I was hearing from major investors is, I don't know what the hell is going on.
True.
That was the number one thing, before and after. The amount of confusion, chaos in the markets, a feeling of complete dyspeptic, ulcer-ridden churn, that is very real, and that is not good for markets because there's a bunch of money sitting on the sidelines waiting to be invested. There's a bunch of economic growth ready to go. So, again, the markets are reacting as you would expect the markets to react. They opened just in the trash heap this morning when the bell sounded to open the market. The Dow Jones Industrial Average plummeted immediately more than 1,000 points. The S&P 500 plummeted more than 3%. The NASDAQ plummeted almost 4.5%. That was on open. Now, CNBC actually obtained audio of the CEO of Restoration Hardware, who stock got pummeled this morning on open. He was doing a call with his investors. It was an open call, and here was his reaction to what was going on in the markets when he found out what had happened to his stock.
Do we have that sound, Bill?
Yeah.
So Gary Friedman's on the call, and apparently is notified in the middle of the call that his stock was down 25%. Take a listen.
In this race, and where's our stock now? I mean, I guess the stock went down, based on some of the numbers we reported, and then it got killed because of really? Okay. I just looked at the screen. I had to look at it.
Oh boy. So if that's the reaction across the country, that is not going to be great. Okay, so the question is going to be how the markets take this as it sinks in. What's going to happen over the course of the next week? Is President Trump going to send out surrogates, like the Treasury Secretary, to walk some of this back, to try and point out where an off-ramp is? Or is he just going to keep doubling down on the theory that it's short-term pain for long-term gain? If so, he's going to have to explain how short-term the pain is and what exactly the long-term gain is. Because that has not even been spelled out at this point. The idea is that other countries are just going to reshore to the United States to take advantage of our markets.
It's like, I don't understand, why wouldn't the plan be incentivize people to build here? If this is what you want to do, incentivize people to build here before you start charging all of the Americans this fucking tax pretty much. To say, yeah, just bring your stuff here. How long you think that's going to take? We don't have the infrastructure for that shit.
way, but we will leave tariffs on stuff that they export to us. Or they could just form trade blocs themselves and then go make time with the Chinese. They could do that. But there are real-world implications for this sort of stuff. Trade wars are, in fact, not good and not easy to win, particularly if you don't actually have a plan. You actually have to have a plan. So I want somebody to lay out that plan. Seriously, you've heard me on today's show, pretty animated about how I don't think that this is particularly good policy. So what I would love is for somebody to make a case as to why this is actually excellent policy, why this is going to be salutary for the United States, why this is going to benefit the people of the United States en masse. And if you're going to call for sacrifice from the American people, the question is, what is the thing on the other side of that sacrifice that is better and good?
We know,
what is that thing? There are a lot of theories out there.
Lucas,
like, well, what if we weaken the dollar?
like,
meaning there's just less demand in international trade for the American dollar because people are tariffing us and we're tariffing them. And then when we weaken the dollar, then we can pay off our debt more easily.
Force a
or something
narrative
like
that
that.
makes
Well,
no sense.
you're not going to pay off your debt unless you grow the economy or inflate way out. That's just the reality.
Now.
So that's not a great answer. If the case is that we need to reshore, then what we should be doing is targeting the places where we want to reshore the most and understand their costs to doing that to consumers and to businesses, because that, of course, is very real. But I've yet to hear an actual explanation. What I've heard so far from people inside the administration, unfortunately, I wish this weren't the case, what I've heard so far is a lot of casting of various aspersions at foreign countries for engaging in trade with us, regardless of whether they are good or bad, because we're treating Canada the same way we're treating China here. And this is why I think markets are confused, investors are confused. Confusion and fear are going to breed sell-offs. That is what they're going to breed: less investment, less job growth. This is all avoidable. It's all avoidable. What we need to hear an actual narrative, not a bunch of talking points that are generated for a cork board that is filled with statistics made up by some sort of AI. Well, joining us online to discuss everything economics related is Representative Jody Arrington, of course, from Texas. He is the House Budget Committee Chairman. Representative, thanks so much for joining the show. I really appreciate it.
You bet, Ben. Great to be with you.
Well, I do want to get to the budget, the big, beautiful bill, and all that. Obviously, I have your
elected Republican lawmaker. Be careful. Don't say anything mean about Trump.
Welcome
We're about to
back,
see okay. These are the first guys, I think, that get the beam down orders.
Economic news, perhaps, of the decade, which would be the president's announcement of his tariffs. Yesterday, the markets reacted quite poorly this morning. Obviously, the Dow Jones Industrial Average dumped 3% on open. Similar numbers from the S&P 500. The NASDAQ down almost 5%.
But
what do you make of the tariffs?
When it's on full display and, like, it gets recorded in real time, it's just like, damn, y'all never going to just take a step back and be like, this shit's stupid, bro. Like, I just don't understand. He said it was going to do the tariffs. The tariffs is implemented. Now y'all like, oh, my God, this isn't working. We said that shit.
Do you think that they are geared toward the lowering of tariffs in other countries? What are you hoping President Trump is going to achieve with this?
I hope past his prologue and that the same strategies that were applied in President Trump's first term.
Stop it. What did they keep referring to this first term? Nothing happened that was so great for the economy. They keep saying this shit, and it's like, what are y'all talking about? He didn't do anything for the economy in his first term.
Successful in resetting the trade arrangement or relationship with our trading partners happens in this round, and I suspect it will. So we just need a level playing field for manufacturers, for farmers, and for our workers. And I think that's a pretty basic principle that we should rally around the president for. We've had our manufacturing and industrial base hollowed out over the years. We've suppressed worker wages in this country. We've left economic activity and growth on the table, all because we've allowed other countries to take advantage of our low barriers to entry or access to our markets, while they've used tariffs and a lot of non-tariff barriers to effectively tax our products going in their market. So this reset's important. There will be pain and some disruption on the front end, but in the long run, we have to do it. And the big piece of this that is probably underestimated and undervalued is our dependence on other countries for drugs, for computer chips, and other important products and materials for our national security or public safety. So all in all, this will be a huge boon to this economy and critical to our national security. Trump has to stay the course. We have to support him, and I'm all in.
Now, Congressman, I do have to ask a couple more questions on that. One is,
sure.
You mentioned semiconductors. You mentioned some of the other products that are national security related. He's already exempted, he says, semiconductors from the import tariffs, presumably because it would raise prices too much on so many of the products that we use. And I guess the other question is that the sheet that he put out yesterday, that the administration put out, labeling tariff rates at 70, 80, 90% in some of these countries, it appears that that was calculated by essentially just taking the trade deficits with those countries and dividing it into the imports to the United States from those countries and coming up with a percentage that really has nothing to do with the tariff rate. So, for example, South Korea is listed on this particular form as having a 50% tariff rate. We have a free trade agreement with South Korea. We pay an effective tariff rate in South Korea of something like 0.8%. Even if you add their value-added tax on top, you're talking about like a 10% tariff, certainly not 50% tariff. My problem with that calculation is, I'm with you. I want them to lower their trade barriers, but it seems to me that if you're a country like, for example, Israel literally yesterday announced 0 tariffs on American products coming in. We hit them with a 17% tariff anyway. What sort of deliverable is the administration actually looking for? That's the thing I want clarity on. If there's a deliverable on the other end of these tariffs, sure, sounds great. What do you think the deliverable ought to be?
Well, I think it should just be an apples-to-apples fairness in terms of trade policy. So
it's non-responsive.
It should be tariffs. It should be, there are non-tariff sort of technical barriers like GMO with respect to our ag products. There are quotas that they're not considered tariff, but they're still huge barriers. They've been for many years for dairy products going into Canada. That was part of the restructuring of the NAFTA to USMCA. And so there's a number of ways, VAT taxes, border adjustment taxes. So I think the president and his team are looking at the totality of it. But I'm with you. It needs to be apples to apples. We're not looking for isolationism, or we're not looking for Chinese industrial policy.
Yes, he is. Literally, Trump, this is isolationism. He's saying, excuse me, we don't need anything. We could do everything in America. Because if you're going to argue that we need to create everything in America and we don't need lumber and we don't need steel and we don't need medicine and all that, then if say the industries do come to America, what would be the reason to not to trade with anybody else if that's why he's doing that? He wants everything to be made here, and he wants to isolate us from the rest of the world. What the fuck?
We're subsidizing our guys and blocking out competition from others. We believe in free markets and competition, but free markets and free trade don't exist if they're not fair on an apples-to-apples trade policy basis. And I think that's a good fundamental principle in trade policy and trade negotiations.
And Congressman Arrington, one of the things that I think that people in the markets are worried about is that there's been a lot of whipsawing, a lot of kind of policy uncertainty so far, particularly with regard to this stuff. The investors that I know are kind of holding out their money, waiting to see where everything settles, which isn't an unreasonable position given the changes. President Trump is declaring these tariffs on a national emergency basis, and the national emergency that he's claiming is the trade deficit. It is difficult to see how a trade deficit amounts to a national emergency under the law. Where do you think the line of congressional authority lays with regard to tariffs as opposed to executive authority on tariffs?
That's a great question. I think there are national security implications if we can't make materials that go into making war machines that protect our country and our allies like Israel. So that's one you have to watch closely. I think we all were surprised during COVID to find out that we couldn't get protective gear for our healthcare workers, or that 90% of our antibiotics, for example, were made in China. And then, computer chips that run everything effectively, we were a sole source provider with Taiwan. So you have to look at these things. I agree with.
I would have to go back and check. I don't believe in that protective gear bullshit. I don't think that was a problem with the inability to manufacture, procure them. I feel like that was a problem of political will, because I feel like once we put our mind to certain things, you're telling me the United States couldn't get masks for its population, like due to a hard economic limit, but we were able to do the vaccine distribution, which is, I would imagine, infinitely more complex in half the time once Biden was president. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I think that was a political will question. I don't believe it.
In terms of where is the national security or public safety nexus? And then on everything else, Ben, it needs to be the apples-to-apples fairness issue. And because I do think we've been taken for granted. That's why we have a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 a deficit with the top 20 countries representing the top 20 largest economies in the world.
So, Congressman Arrington, all of this makes it that much more important
because our dollar's the most powerful, bro. Like
the big, beautiful budget resolution actually get passed, because the market's already priced in, I assume, because pretty much everyone I'm talking to has the permanence of the Trump tax cuts. If that were to disappear, there would be a massive market catastrophe. I think it's pretty clear to everybody that the big, beautiful bill needs to happen. Where does that stand? How do you see that being ushered through the process?
Well, let's just go back and look at, just real quickly, the first term. We had the highest levels of business investment, R&D investment. We had the lowest unemployment. We lifted 6 million people out of poverty. All of this was the comprehensive economic policy agenda, which included reset on trade, but it also was good energy policy, good tax policy, and work incentives, right? Work incentives for work-capable adults. So we've got to get back, transition from unbridled spending and failed economic policies to this agenda, most of which, to your point, is wrapped up in this budget reconciliation bill. We need to lock in the low taxes. We certainly can't have $400 billion tax hikes in the first year, which send us into a recession. We can't add 22% on average of a tax hike on tax-paying Americans after Bidenflation, which was about a 20% regressive tax hike. So couldn't agree more. That's in there. Opening up energy production, deregulating the economy, work incentives, investment in military and border security, all in there. That's why it's one big, beautiful bill, right? That is the full America First agenda for the most part, and the most consequential piece of legislation in my lifetime, Ben. But we have to make sure that as we advance this and all the cost to it, we start to bend the spending curve that's driving an unsustainable debt. And Republicans have failed in the past to do that.
Wait, what did
and
I just
want to make
connect the circuit
certain,
to?
not just for this great country, our economy, and our current security or defense readiness, but for our children who are going to inherit the whirlwind of our recklessness, now to the tune of $36 trillion in debt, $2 trillion annual deficits, $1 trillion just to service the debt. Those are all deferred taxes on our children. So we have to have offsets. We cannot increase the deficit, and we got to get our country on a sustainable and responsible path. That's missing from the Senate's bill. That was in the House bill, and I made sure of it along with other colleagues. So at the end of this rainbow, we have to get to a spot that we reignite economic growth through all the policies we talked about, including tax, but we're bringing the debt to GDP down. We're bringing the deficit to GDP down. Otherwise, we bankrupt the country, and none of this matters. None of it. And we're not the leader of the free world, and our values aren't the dominant values that influence the world, and we can't support our allies, et cetera, et cetera.
Now, Congressman Arrington, I said on the show that you co-authored with Phil Gramm, former chairman of the Senate Banking Committee, the single most important op-ed of the last 5 years, which was this op-ed in the Wall Street Journal talking about how means-tested welfare programs are the thing that's bankrupting the United States. That, for the most part, Medicare and Social Security are paid for the most part, not in their entirety, but the thing that actually is rising dramatically continues to be the cost of the means-tested welfare programs. When you talk about the budget bill, what in your version of the budget bill was aimed at sort of bringing down the cost curve on those?
Well, a whole lot. I mean, you have to have.
Bro, he will
if you
never
just
not
took the
put the three
Medicaid, that's the
X's,
largest
bro.
means-tested welfare program. It doesn't have a work requirement for able-bodied adults,
Crazy.
like all the other programs from the Bill Clinton welfare to work era that actually brought down dependence on welfare by 80%. But it's been gamed by states and others, especially California. So we
Bro, I
have
do
to
not
close the loopholes there,
understand this fucking
and we have
game
to put
Destiny be
actual
playing.
expectations for
Factorial,
work-capable
like, this
adults
shit look
in
like
these
a
programs, like in Medicaid. If you just reviewed the roles, this is a basic program integrity measure that everybody can understand. If you review the roles and make sure that those benefiting are legally eligible and they're not here illegally in this country or for other reasons aren't eligible, then you save $160 billion just reviewing it twice versus once. So it's all of the above. You also have states and local special interests that siphon money away from these programs that have nothing to do with the beneficiary. So it's broken. It's part of what's bankrupting the country. And we've got to act responsibly as we right this fiscal ship to focus on these welfare programs.
Well, that's House Budget Chairman Jody Arrington doing good work on the Hill. Really appreciate your time, sir, and thanks for your insight.
Ben, it's an honor to be with you.
Meanwhile, there...
Every time I hear Trump admins or Trump/admins say the disaster the last admin left us gives off the same energy as the morning shifty explaining why they failed health inspections at 4 p.m. saying that was night shift. Oh, based.
There is, in fact, breaking news on the Joe Biden front, believe it or not. So there is a brand new piece out from the UK Guardian suggesting a new book. Top Biden aides were perfectly well aware that Joe Biden was ailing during the 2024 election. Ron Klain served Biden from 2021
That's what
to
we're
2023.
talking about
and then
now?
came
Are
back
you
last
kidding
June
me?
to run debate prep. According to Klain, in this new book, it turned out Biden, quote, did not know what Trump had been saying and couldn't grasp what the back and forth was. Left preparation and fell asleep by the pool. Obsessed about foreign leaders, saying, quote, these guys say I'm doing a great job as president, so I must be a great president. Didn't really understand what the argument was on inflation and had nothing to say about a second term other than finish the job. As described by Klain to a reporter, Chris Whipple, at one point, Biden had an idea, quote, if he looked perplexed when Trump talked, voters would understand that Trump was an idiot.
Lucy, stop before you get banned, bro.
Klain replied, sir, when you look perplexed, people just think you're perplexed. And this is our problem in the race. The book is titled Uncharted, from the Biden, Harris, and the Odds, and the wildest campaign in history. Well, I mean, yes. Obviously, Klain was hiding it. Klain, by the way, has been saying that Biden should have stayed in the race, which, again, is an easy...
Okay, don't care about this. Okay, people want me to watch this fucking video. Why Trump's tariff chaos actually makes sense.
Most beautiful
Oh
word
God,
to me
they
in the
gonna stretch the
dictionary.
truth. Bro, they just won't let
Money and macro, I don't know.
Bro,
anything.
I just wonder how long they're gonna talk about Biden until they realize they can't do it anymore. Like, is they gonna be saying because of Biden in the next like all 4 years? Like,
About this channel.
Who changes his mind between, breakfast 11's
not
lunch
only did he
and supper
not
time.
win the election, he wasn't in it. He didn't even run. So stop talking about Biden.
What the heck is going on? Why is Trump hitting his closest allies with tariffs? Why does he no longer care about crashing the stock market? Does this guy actually have a plan? Yes. Believe it or not, I'm here to tell you that, yes, as Trump's new Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, recently put it,
President Trump's tariff policies have begun the process of reorienting our international economic relations.
That's right, he says tariffs have begun the process. In other words, his tariff chaos is just the start of a much bigger plan. A plan that aims to upend the entire world trading system that the US itself created. This has really only happened twice before, once in 1944, marking the start of the Bretton Woods system, and then in the early 80s with Reagan and Thatcher marking the beginning of the neoliberal world order. So here we are today, 2025. Is this the start of a completely new global order? A new US-centered order
more
that
of
will
a
emerge
debate
right
there.
after the current chaos, in which countries are
more
divided
of a
in
debate
three
there.
groups, or as Scott Bessent calls it,
I think we should make it very clear that there is a green, a yellow, and a red bucket. And we let everyone know where they are.
In these buckets, it will become very clear that some countries get low tariffs, military protection, and maybe even some preferred US dollar access, while others are left to fend for themselves. At least, that's the picture I got from going through all of the speeches and papers by Trump's closest economic advisors that I could find. So, let's get into it. What is this MAGA master plan for a new global order? And is this plan actually feasible, or is it just a pipe dream of a madman and his stooges? To answer these questions, let's start with getting into the MAGA mindset and ask ourselves, what does the Trump team actually want? To answer that question, first a bit about Trump's new economic team. First, we have Scott
You gonna
Bessent,
give me
the
one
new
there,
Treasury
Lucy?
Secretary,
You'll get
an
it for me.
ultra-wealthy hedge fund manager that famously worked with
I'll be your
George
best
Soros himself to
friend.
break the Bank of England in the early 90s. And he used to teach economic history classes at Yale. Then there's Stephen Moran, Trump's new top economic advisor, a Harvard PhD and hedge fund strategist who recently got all of Wall Street talking with his new paper, A User's Guide to Restructuring the Global Trading System. Both men have written and
I want
talked
him to get to the
extensively
point.
about
You know
one
what, man? I'm behind.
entire
Is
period
he gonna get
of
to
this
the
graph.
point?
A brief history of the US-led global order. After all, the deindustrialization of the US is a long historical trend, and it happened under two specific global orders, both made by the US itself. The first is the Bretton Woods system from 1944 to 1973. The second is the neoliberal world order that arguably lasted from Reagan's presidency in the early 80s to Trump's first term in 2016. The periods in between are, in my view, adjustment periods. So, okay, let's start with the Bretton Woods system and why it is crucial to understand Trump's plan today. The Bretton Woods system was established in the 1940s. On the economic side, the rules were laid out in 1944 when the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference was held in Bretton Bretton Woods in the United States. Meanwhile, on the security side, several conferences were signed that ultimately led to the creation of NATO and the US-Japan Security Treaty.
I don't care. He said they put tariffs on that Switch and them damn games. Bro, the digital games even cost more too. That's the sick part about it. That's what's sick. Okay. So let's see. They actually got the technical specs. And they both, again, like, Watts, you need to come on, man. It's just so much bullshit. I don't want to, I'm finna start fucking losing it in a second. Oh, God, it's so much bullshit. Oh, if you ready, hop your ass in here. Can you see the chat? What you gotta do to work for Nintendo? What you gotta do to work for Nintendo? Can't do none of this shit. Customer service, I could do that. What's good, TJ? Appreciate you for stopping through. Oh, y'all ain't got nothing for me in the U.S.? Okay. Let's try all job locations for customer service. Yeah.
Yo.
I'm going to have to share my screen because I'm going to be reading some of this shit. I'm going to share my screen with you on Discord.
Oh, all right. I got you. Hold up. Let me
you can keep up while I'm reading.
Let me mute the live stream.
You on the computer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh, why did I click on that again? Tweaking. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Ooh, job openings.
Yeah, I accidentally clicked on it again. Damn, your head big as hell on this on my stream.
I mean, shit, I know I got a big head, but damn. Yeah, I can see it in Discord.
You got a big head. All right, but no. So Moosey is insane. But no, bro. So how much defense can you really run at this point, man?
Honestly, I don't even know if it's defense at this point. All right, so we're gonna talk about things like step by step. Let's just start from the very beginning. Okay, so let's talk about price point of the initial of just the console. How do you feel about it?
I'm not that pissed. I mean, 400 would be ideal, but I get it. It is what it is, you know. It is okay. I can accept the price as it is.
Yeah, for sure. I think we can both agree, and with the hardware that they are, I mean, essentially selling, like it's justified.
Wait, how much is this Switch OLED?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Yeah,
Switch OLED, because when that came out, I said, "Oh, I am most definitely not buying that."
I'm seeing 350.
That's crazy. Now I will say I do understand because it is an OLED screen or whatever. Cool, I get it. But no, that is wild. When it first came out, I was just like, nah, I can't fade it. I can't fade it. Just for a little
screen.
bit. Yeah, a little improvement. Nah. So like here's the thing about this, bro. I don't even necessarily think we disagree all that much. We most definitely disagree with certain things, but I don't even know where to start with all this. Where do you want to start?
My issue is that it feels like it's forced at this point. But again, I think I have to I really think it ties into COVID, like disrupting the natural flow of like inflation and you know the gaming industry in itself, because it had a big boom, and now it's like they can't go anything lower than that at this point. So now we gotta just get fucked in the ass, and they're like, yeah, y'all gonna pay $90 for games. So I don't give a fuck. We need to make our money. So it's like, and how fast it's happening. They just went from 60 to 70 to 90 in 2 years. Like, so you know what I'm saying? Like, This is like that's crazy. We was paying $60 for 3 generations, right? 3 generations. We was paying $60. COVID comes, they make all this money gaming, and now that life is back to normal, they can't go any lower than what they've made during COVID. So now it's like we're just gonna fuck y'all because we have to make money. It doesn't feel natural at all.
Got you. Okay, so I understand. All right, so let's talk about the games, right? Because there is something that I do want to clear up. So I did research, and apparently Mario Kart World, like the physical, costing $90. That was a rumor. It's not true. If you go on if you go on retail websites, they're still selling it. Like they have the physical, at just 80, which is, I mean, don't get me wrong.
Everywhere.
I know. It was one foreign website that posted it, and everybody just essentially ran with it. But I did look it up, and I want you to look it up too. But I'm pretty sure that it's going to be 80 all around, digital or physical. So that's
I'm seeing that.
Yeah,
man, they got the gamer, like, these is like credible places saying it was gonna be 90. That's crazy.
Yeah, so let's just clear that up first. All right. Now, I will say $80 for a game, it is very expensive. I most definitely agree. The only way that I would be able to give Nintendo a little bit of charity here is that if they do with Mario Kart World what they essentially did with Mario Kart 8 without charging us money for DLC, then I think it's justified. Does that make any sense?
That's the same thing I said for like GTA. It makes sense, but that's what I said. I can't get mad at $100 for GTA if everything else after that I can just play the game to accrue money and stuff and all that shit.
Exactly. So, and honestly, GTA is such a good example because that is another game that has, been popular for decades. People have been literally playing that game for a decade, bro.
Right.
Like, which is fucking ridiculous. I mean, at this point, same with Mario Kart and Mario Kart 8, and they kept adding on content over and over and over again. There was a shit ton of DLC. So if they are able to justify it, me personally, I would be okay with the $80 price point. I'd be okay with it. So, all right, now that we're there, let's talk about the games in general, right? Okay, Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's, first of all, looks fucking fantastic. That shit looks fire.
His redesign, but the game itself I'm cool with, but I don't like his redesign at all.
Is it necessarily a redesign? Because he looks like old school Donkey Kong to me.
He got on pants. He looks like more goofy.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. He looks a little, he looks a little more
silly.
true. He does look silly, but I mean, if you look up old school Donkey Kong, he kind of looks like that. Like, so it's like they kind of brought him back to his roots, which I don't necessarily, I don't mind.
But the pants, bro.
It doesn't really bother me that much. But yeah, he essentially. Yeah, he looks like old school. There's really no other way that I can explain it, but I like it. I'm gonna post a picture in Discord. But yeah, anyway, game looks dope though. It's probably gonna be like the Mario Odyssey of this of this console until a successor of Mario Odyssey comes out. But anyway, all right. So the price point, that game is going to be $70, right? Which it's going to be $70. So I am surmising that is going to be Nintendo's new normal. That's going to be $70, which I'm not mad at because I don't know if you played The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, but that game was actually $70.
Right, that's when they started. It was like, well, we getting there now.
Exactly, and that's when they essentially tested the waters, and that game sold ridiculously. Like it's very successful, and no one really complained about the price point because I mean it's fucking Zelda. You feel me?
Game,
yeah. So I'm not really upset about like a $10 increase, especially since we've heard this time and time again, even during COVID, that these price hikes were going to happen eventually. Like we heard this. And Sony and Microsoft, they are most definitely going to follow suit, like after the Switch 2 comes out for sure. Those games are probably going to be, because they're 70 now. Those games are probably going to be $75 to $80, bro. There's no way.
There's no way. Feels criminal, but that's what I'm saying. When's the last time we had a one generation where the price jumps? Like, if they can't, like, I don't know, like, I hope they don't charge PS5 games at $80 now. They already got people in their ecosystem, so they don't have to. They don't have to start over, but, you know, they got a lot of old games people are just going to bring over to their Switch too. And they got, you know, a few games coming out at release. They got to make that money up front. And I feel like they might, well, they can't drop the price too soon. I don't know. Because they don't keep up with all the other consoles, their cycles, so it just seems like they in their own island doing their own thing. But if people are willing to pay $80 for a Nintendo game, they definitely going to pay it for a PS5 or Xbox game.
For sure. Agreed. And I will say, to answer your question before, when it comes to like generations and price hikes, I gave you an example, like back in the late 80s, early 90s when the Super Nintendo came out. Yeah. Those games range from $60 to $80.
Yeah, no, they was taxing, and that's like over $100 today.
Right. Exactly. So I just think that a lot of this is case by case. I mean, we most definitely had price hikes,
and that's
in
fair
the past.
too. Like I think like they kind of doing it now. To be fair, like Split Fiction is $50. I think RoboCop came out at like $40 or $50, and so now I agree with games their price should match what they're offering, but unless it's something like GTA, I don't know what out here is worth over $80. But I guess you're arguing that Donkey Kong and Mario Kart are those kind of games.
Right. Well, like Donkey Kong aside, because he's 70, but Mario Kart, it
could be.
It most definitely could be. We just don't know yet.
Yeah.
However, if Mario Kart comes out and it's the same shit and they charge us for more DLC, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna be like, this is most definitely not worth it. Like, I'm going to absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
There was another point that I wanted to bring up. Oh, so people were complaining about the about how you can basically update your older games to like the Switch 2 edition.
Yeah.
So after doing a little bit of digging, it does turn out that some of these older games that do not offer extra content, like Mario Odyssey, they're going to get a visual upgrade. So you're going to be able to play Mario Odyssey in 4K and 60 frames per second.
For free?
Yeah, for free. So it turns out the reason why they're probably going to charge $20 to upgrade these games. I mean, realistically, I don't know. I could be wrong because Tears of the Kingdom could be one of those ones that maybe it will be 10 since it was already 70, but I don't know. This is just me guessing.
They didn't put the price, did they? Let me see.
No, they didn't put the price. So this is just me guessing. I have absolutely no idea. But with Tears of the Kingdom, Kirby,
upgrade packs.
and whatever other games that were in the upgrade packs, they offer extra content. Like Kirby,
now, if
there's like
extra content, okay.
Yeah, so like even like you see Super Mario Party, right? Jamboree, that's extra content. That Jamboree TV that is not included with the original game. So when you go at it, when you come at it with like that, with that aspect, with that with that mindset, I should say, you can justify it. Like I can justify a little extra money to pay to upgrade these games because you're offering extra content. So I'm like, okay.
So I'm reading and it says really. It's not really the extra shit is shit you gotta buy, except for I guess the 1080p maybe on tabletop and handheld, because you could play with the camera, you gotta buy that. You can play with the microphone, you gotta buy that. And so it's like
true.
Really
true. Well, hold on. So those modes with the camera and the microphone you don't have to buy. It's already a part of the system. I don't how shitty it is. I have no idea, but I do know that it's using like NVIDIA technology. That's all I know. So it may be decent, probably not, but I don't know. But you don't have, from what I understand, you don't have to use those accessories in order to access those modes.
Right.
So scroll back up for a second. There was something.
They bogus for not having time. I mean prices.
I know. So go back to the Mario Party section you were just at. There was some. Oh, right. Another thing that I wanted to bring. One thing that I thought was dope that they didn't have to do. So that camera, the webcam, obviously it's a shitty webcam if we're being
Yeah.
honest. So if you already have a webcam, you can use that instead. They
Oh,
didn't
you
have to
looked
do
that up?
that. Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
glad because I'm like shit. Like the one they showed it looked shitty, but it didn't look like it was. I don't know. Is do they? I guess they're gonna have a Nintendo one. I'm sure, right?
Yeah, that's I'm assuming that's like the licensed Nintendo one that they had.
Yeah, it looked like.
So I did think that was cool that they still, allowed that and gave us that option instead of buying
USB-C
something.
camera.
Yeah, instead of buying
How
something
many?
like entirely new.
I need to see how many ports the USB.
How many USB-C ports? There's
Yeah,
2.
it's only. How you supposed to use like if you want to use the camera and you want to charge it? Oh, I guess it's just 2. But damn, we had like 4 of them joints on the Switch. Huh?
I said, did we?
Yeah, it's like it's 2 on the side of the dock, and then there's like 2 more in the back part where you plug it in for the power.
I'm trying to think. So the power is USB-C too, and we had 2 USB ports on the side.
No, the regular USB.
USB 3.0. There was
Yeah.
2 USB.
It was 2 on the side of the deck,
yeah.
and then I think it's
Got
1 or
you.
2 in the back where you use the power
I
cord.
think it's 1. I think there's 1 USB-C
1
port on the old Switch. Yeah.
in the back. So it's a total of 3.
Yeah, which is, I mean, that's fine.
I'm just thinking about the fact that you can easily plug up 3 controllers, but now it's probably they try to want to sell wireless ones, which I guess, but I like having the cords because I didn't have to worry about charging and all that shit.
True. Because I'm like, how did I get away with that? Well, to be fair, even when I would play with like friends and family, it wasn't very often that I had to charge controllers at the same time because I mean, I don't know about you, but I use the Pro controllers and that battery life is something crazy. Like they have really good battery life. Yeah.
I use wired controllers. I don't even use like besides the ones that come with the switch that you put on the little middle piece. I use wired controllers. I don't use any cordless ones. So
Gotcha. See, yeah, cords make my ass itch. I don't know what, like I can't.
See, I be trying to save as much time and money as I can. Them controllers, the regular Switch controllers with the designs and shit, them shits was like $18. So I kept grabbing them when I found them. Shit, I got 3. Cause I'm like I ain't getting.
Yeah, nah, I can understand that. I mean,
old school as hell, boy.
Yeah, it is very old school, but at the same time, I remember I got scarred. So when I was playing the PlayStation 2, I had a toy poodle, right? His name was Dash. Dash was fast as fuck, and he always used to get like the zoomies. I was playing SOCOM, and that bitch was like standing up and it was elevated. So like the wires would hang. Boy, he had the zoomies one day, carried the whole system with him.
Damn.
Yeah, nah. That's why I was like, and then ever since I was like, man, I wish I had wireless controllers.
That's
and
the
then
downside.
And then the GameCube came out, and I got the Wavebird controllers. Yeah, still use them to this day. I can't believe they still work.
Oh shit. Yeah, that is the downside. Like or if you want to just sit somewhere that's not convenient with the cord. But shit, I was like, them bitches are $18. I'm like, that's fine with me. Grab them bitches.
No, I understand. I mean, I'm really not knocking you for being frugal, like at all.
So do you understand? I had to look at this virtual game card shit because I wasn't fully understanding it.
I still don't fully understand it.
Yeah, it seems like it's some type of thing you use to make the physical game digital onto your another Switch. I think. The virtual game card feature for Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 systems adds some of the flexibility of physical games to your digital game library. If you have 2 systems, you can digitally eject and load games from one system to another, and you can even lend games to members of your Nintendo account family group. So yes, it's a way to basically get a digital version of your physical game to play.
Okay, but the stipulations though.
Open the home menu, select the virtual. View your digital game library. Virtual game cards may not be available for demos and some Switch Online member exclusive games. Select the game you want to load and start playing as soon as the game data is downloaded. Move your
But I'm
games
just
between
like,
systems. What?
what's the point of this? Because I think if you put a game on that card and give it to a friend, I think they can only have it for a certain amount of
They
time.
said 14 days, I believe.
That's dumb.
So
that's stupid.
So is this about lending the game, or is it just is this what I'm supposed to do if I want all my data from my Switch to my Switch 2? Or is this something different than that?
I think it's something totally different than that.
Okay. So it's just really about lending and letting people play a game with you?
I guess.
If you have two different systems linked to the same Nintendo account, you can choose which system to play it on, just like with a physical game card. Simply eject the virtual game card from one system and load it onto the other. Once a virtual game card is loaded to a system, not only can you play it without an internet connection, but use other account systems you can also manage and load. Why does Nintendo do everything so like they make the simplest things difficult? Like that stupid ass app and shit to talk to people and shit. Like, you know, like they don't have a good chat system.
No, honestly, when I saw the trailer for their chat, I got hyped for a second because I was like, please tell me that's Discord, and of course it wasn't.
It's not exactly like y'all just can't put Discord on there. You just won't have a simple Nintendo Switch chat, just like PlayStation and Xbox. If you just want to chat with people on the same ecosystem, just let me chat, or if not, get Discord. But no, they want to be fucking Nintendo and do all this extra shit that's just stupid. Like, this is extra. Like, I don't even. First of all, I guess this is a way to let people play games without letting them own it.
I mean, I guess.
Because I'm like, if I just want you to have a game, I'm gonna just give you my
That's what I'm
game.
saying. If I'm done with it, why would I give you a 14-day time limit? That's dumb. I'm gonna just give you the game.
Or if we're just playing together, I guess this is an option. If like you're with friends and y'all gonna be together for 2 days or something, and y'all want to play a game together that y'all both don't own, I guess it's an option, but it just seems so pointless. I don't know. Nintendo just loves to make shit difficult. Like, put fucking Discord on your system. Like,
yeah, it's like they want. First of all, I told you I used to work with lawyers that worked for Nintendo. Yeah. They are so fucking crazy about their IP, bro. Probably way worse than Sony and Xbox. Actually, they are worse. Like, they are actually absolutely crazy.
They don't sue you for games they're not selling.
That's what I'm saying. They want to brand every fucking thing. Like, why? You don't need a dedicated. Just do Discord. It'd be easier. Do you know how many people would get on board with that?
And not even that. Just make us. Well, I guess they did it now. They did make a chat, but it looked super laggy and shit. Did you see the part in the presentation where it was like laggy as fuck?
Yes, which to give them credit, I will say that was mad honest. Like,
to just show it like
yeah, no, dead ass, because a lot of these developers and a lot of these companies would just show like what it potentially could be, maybe, probably not.
Yeah.
But instead, you were like, oh, it's not going to be perfect, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
I always go back to Watch Dogs and Killzone.
Oh,
what was it? Killzone 2? Was it Killzone 2? Which one came out on PS3?
It was Killzone 2.
It was 2.
Yeah, it had to be 2.
This don't look right.
If it wasn't 2, it had to be. Was it 2?
It
was 2.
Yeah, and I bro, first of all, I didn't want Watch Dogs, but I remember hearing the news once it came out. Everybody was like, "This ain't how it looked." But when I got Killzone, I remember I was like, this don't look shit like the trailer they showed me. Like, as a fucking, however old I was, probably 15 or 16, I was like, this don't look nothing like they showed me in that trailer. Because a big reason I wanted this game is because of how good it looked. And I got that shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this shit, it was unacceptable. And that Watch Dogs, I didn't believe Watch Dogs at all. I didn't even believe it. And it might have been because of Killzone, but when I saw Watch Dogs, I was like, there's no way. Was it PS3 as well or 4? That was PS3.
That was PS3.
I'm like, there's no way the PlayStation can run a game like this.
Hell
the PlayStation 3. I knew, I was like, there's no way this game is going to look that good. And then it came out and they said it didn't.
Exactly. But that's my point, though. Like, we've been bamboozled a lot. And so I did appreciate the honesty. However, I will say, so I just, before you started streaming, they had a Nintendo Treehouse today.
Yes.
And they were showing the multiplayer of they were playing an old GameCube game, The Legend of Zelda Four Swords or whatever. And they were playing that online together, and it didn't look bad.
Really?
It didn't look that bad. Like, don't get me wrong, was it perfect? No, but I was like, oh, okay, that doesn't look as bad as I thought it was going to. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. I want to see this live.
Yeah, I was about to say you're gonna have to. I can give you a timestamp.
I want to see the live chat.
Oh, it was just everybody. Drop the price. Drop the price. Drop the price.
But yeah, you said you kind of know when you watched this whole thing.
Hell no. I was I was working. I like to have background noise while I work.
This is one of the most consistent live chats I've ever seen.
It is. Honestly, I was impressed.
I couldn't believe how long it was going on. How do you look at the live chat from a previous?
Yeah, but even just looking at this Donkey Kong game, bro, it looked fire.
Oh, here we go.
Let me see. There, I know they.
Let me hop up here and take a look what's in this reservoir.
Oh, so we see a banana down there. Then it's going to be a good way to
get it. Did they disable the live chat?
So you can see this conveniently placed popper switch.
I
this, I can actually raise it up a little bit.
It's a nice one.
Go ahead.
I love the chat chanting for 4 hours straight.
Like I said, I always watch your fruit.
I wonder if they disabled it or some shit.
I'm getting drenched over here, though. Yeah, another quick little chance to just take a quick little swim. Enjoy it. We are in the pool layer after all.
I mean, it's 4 hours. I don't know how you're going to easily find it.
Climb my way back out of here. Again, DK can climb on most surfaces in this game as well. So
when I watched this, I was hoping, I'm like, is Diddy going to make an appearance?
I'm going to use...
Are they probably going to save that for the next game?
Oh, with the baby oil?
Oh, wrong. Make it over to the next pipe.
Oh, with the baby oil?
I believe I can. I'm going to do a little
I'm telling you, bro, I can find this shit.
There we go.
Nice. Which is also a returning move from classic DK.
Well timed.
He don't have
a bit of a bravery
here.
required roll and jump.
You got it.
Yeah, so this is
Do you wear pants in the comfort of your own home?
No.
All right,
more shifty stone.
But I'm saying this is the Donkey Kong I know, the no pants Donkey
You've activated
Kong.
a
shifty
smash challenge?
I
familiar barrel cannon.
I'm saying because in the one where he was
time,
in the
you'll have to really.
He was knocking out the rocks and shit.
Yeah. Well, I think he had pants on. I don't know why, but he looked like it's like he's mining. Like he looks like he had the pants and he had the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these pipes are...
But see, I could get with... Yeah, this looks better.
This is a gorgeous game.
It really is.
It just does look better.
Yeah, like I said, so much loving.
Shit, like even...
Speaking of every corner of it.
Like, look at the water, look at his fur.
Yet another banana.
Yeah.
All right.
I was like, okay, damn. So this is going to be like one of the ones, obviously.
Yeah, it does look good.
Hold up. It has to be here. I think I'm getting close to it, low key.
Okay.
Good progress on
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
So I'm pressing L to make music, which is pointing me back up above, so I better head back up there using this conveniently placed.
It's
the GameCube.
All right.
Oh, the GameCube one? I don't know.
There we are.
We started.
But now we have a quick...
I can tell you that the Pro Controller, I think it's 69.
Of fucking course it is.
Yeah. But that shit is worth it, though. I'm not gonna lie. I got two of them. I got one that came with Smash Brothers. I think it was either 60 or 70. It might have been 70. Oh, found it.
$80.
Okay.
Their Pro Controller will be $80.
Oh, it's $79.99. Damn. God damn. Scrub to 3 hours and 56 minutes.
3 hours and 56 minutes. Damn, I gotta fuck.
Me.
Oh my 3 hours and 56 minutes.
Yeah. And honestly, I just thought it was dope that they are letting us play these games online, these old games. So I
Yeah.
can't wait to bust people asses in Soul Calibur.
Yeah, of course you just want to bust ass. I know.
Pause.
No. You said what you said.
You'll be inviting your friends. Also, BK,
Yeah,
you guys
So
ready?
they got the cameras and everything.
Yeah, they got the cameras and anything. Don't get me wrong. It's a little it's
It has
shitty,
been
but it's
a
not as
little while
bad as
since
I
I have
thought.
last played this game. This is a cooperative adventure.
You see what I mean? Especially for a game
We're
like
each
this.
controlling a different colored
rough.
Link, trying to make
Yeah.
it through the exit
Option
together.
to do it like.
Little bit of cooperation, or actually a lot of cooperation. Little bit of competition.
So did this game used to be single player, or is this the OG? I don't know what Zelda this is.
Nah, that's Four Swords. It was 4 players.
And what was it on?
It was on GameCube.
Oh, it just had the old school graphics.
Yeah, it just had the old school vibe. This game was dope because
Once,
you could
once anyone
link
finds the
your
exit-
Game Boy at like SP up to it,
Mm-hmm.
and you could and like when you would go in the dungeon, you would play on your Game Boy SP. It was stupid, but for some reason I loved it as a kid.
Is this the only game they play?
Old school game, I think so. Oh well, no, I lied. They also play
Legend of Zelda-
F-Zero.
Okay.
The GameCube joint.
sharing to
I've
social media,
actually
all the
never
more
played
convenient.
that on GameCube.
Looking forward to that feature.
I'm
to
not
the
mad
Nintendo
at it. I'm not.
Not
mad
sure
at
how
it
it got
at all.
cut and top. Yeah, moving
But
on.
so here's the thing, though, right?
Always nice to see.
So like, they showed off a lot of good shit during this direct, like a lot of good shit.
Mhm.
And I understand people are pissed off about the price points, but I really think a lot of the outrage is that people think that Mario Kart is going to cost $90 for physical. Like we had a whole
that's worse,
conversation,
and it's not even true.
yeah, we had a whole conversation about it in Discord, and I feel like that conversation would have been different if like everybody knew that $90 price point wasn't real.
Yeah.
Like if I would have found that out earlier, I'd have been like, oh, then what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know why. Like those is like credible websites that's saying it. And I'm
Yeah,
just like,
I
damn,
don't
why?
know.
That's not what I meant to type in. It's like, why are y'all saying that?
I have no idea, but that has not been
Confirmed. Cause you know what though, I should have known better because like all Nintendo's posting was it just said 80. It just said 80, and they didn't say
Right.
anything about physical versus. I don't know how that came about.
Yeah, I don't know. And honestly, that's crazy
Misinformation.
because it
There is
was
no source from Nintendo that says Mario
Mhm.
Kart was 94 physical. Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
I have no idea, and it's crazy because it was so fucking believable because I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is them trying to get away from physical because obviously making physical games is a little more expensive.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, and we all know that there is going to be a time and point where we can no longer physically own our games. Like we know that.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I guess it's just coming sooner than what I thought.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it's just I don't know, man. Even 80 for the 80 is
Like I said, we don't know. We don't know what they are offering. If it's a lot of content, it can be argued. It can be justified. You feel me? I mean,
can. As
we
long
will
as, like
see.
you said, as long as you don't try to do DLC and charge for it in the future, I could better be okay with it. Because Mario Kart 8 lasted for all these years. People still love it. If they never put that bitch on any real permanent sale.
no,
Like-
no, and it's even
That's
crazier
another
when
reason
you
I
think.
fucking hate Nintendo.
Yeah, it's even crazier when you think about it, because that bitch launched on the Wii U first. It was on two
Wait, Mario
consoles.
Kart 8?
Yes, it launched on the Wii U first.
I didn't have a Wii U, so I thought
I did.
I didn't know it was on both. Oh,
Yeah.
that was their GTA then. Shit.
It really was. It really was. But I mean, shit. Also, I feel like and rightfully so. You've been thinking about this entire thing from a consumer aspect, but like from as business wise, why the fuck would I put Mario Kart on sale. Hell no. People are still buying it. Fuck no.
I think after how many was it that when the Switch come out? 2017?
2017, yeah.
At least after 5 years. I mean, come on.
No.
He
No.
said no.
No.
Bro,
No.
Even the thing is, no. I wouldn't even say that people are quote unquote still buying it. If they are, they're buying it used. I don't think that's why I didn't get it. I didn't get a Switch till 2020. 2020. And I held off at first. At first, I really didn't want it that much, and then my wife was saying she wanted it, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna get it. I went to try to get it used, and the shit was like $5 less, and then I was like, y'all pissing me off. So I just sat around and waited for a sale, which just never came around, and now the Switch 2 is here. So it was like, after 4 or 5 years, bro, $10 even? Come on. Everything else they got going sale?
Logics. People will fucking pay. Like you have to think about this in a business.
I don't operate like most people because they be like, yeah, I'm finna get this day one. I'm like, I'm waiting for that shit to go on sale. Y'all got me fucked up.
I understand.
I rarely buy games full price anymore. I don't even remember. Like I said, I think the last thing I got full price was like Warhammer Space Marine.
I understand, but I'm telling you, these AAA games, you can get away with that. For these games that are cross-platform, you can get away with that. But these AAA games that are console sellers, like for example, for PlayStation, I don't know if this is just if it's on sale. I'm just naming like console sellers, like Ghost of Tsushima, Ratchet and Clank, like stuff that would actually fucking sell a system. Spider-Man. And for Nintendo, Zelda, Mario, Donkey Kong,
but you realize
Mario Kart.
Nintendo's the only ones that does that shit. Spider-Man 2 is not full price no more.
Also Spider-Man 2 is also on PC as well. So Nintendo,
that just happened though.
It literally did just happen. You're right. You're right. Nintendo is the only company that has like these first party games, right? And now they just hopped on the third party wave because like obviously this system can support these games now. But they are the only company that have these first party games, and people always buy them. They know people are going to buy them. They know it.
But you realize my gripe is really, it's not even just necessarily the price going up on shit. It's Nintendo is so full of shit. It's really like my anger is really at Nintendo versus like gaming is getting more expensive. Because like you said, I really entertain the idea of GTA being 100. If they can make that game bigger than 5, I really cannot be upset at $100. You know what I'm saying? Because people get new iPhones every year. So
for sure,
I'm not mad at GTA if it can last for 8 years. You charge me $100 up front and minimally do microtransactions. Maybe it's if you want to make a lot of money real quick, whatever, people might do that, whatever. But something like GTA 5, that game is like nothing we've ever seen. So I can justify the $100 up front. But Nintendo, you sue people that play your fucking games and promote it. You don't put your games on sale. Everything's proprietary to y'all brand in every which way. You charging more for games that you know you have no business charging more for. It's just, you don't make a good Pokemon game. Like, why y'all fucking us over so much?
Hey. Now I will say, when it comes to Pokemon, don't get me wrong, Violet and Scarlet, them shits, they were not good. However, the Pokemon Legends game, Arceus, that shit was gas, bro. Oh my gosh,
look how long it took for them to.
You're right.
It took them so long to do it, and they didn't even do it as good as Power World did.
Okay, let me
blew them out of the water immediately with what now we know what's capable. Period. And Nintendo probably still won't take advantage.
Probably not. But let me fuck. I had a good ass question and I totally forgot it. Shit. Oh, what game? So are you saying that these new games like the Donkey Kong, Metroid, obviously they're gonna come out with some new Mario game eventually, Kirby Air Riders. Are you saying that the $70 price point is not justified for those games? Is that what you're saying?
At this point, I'm accepting 70. I'm accepting 70.
Okay.
Even for Switch, Even for Switch, I'll accept 70.
Gotcha.
This
Okay,
80
fair.
shit, if it's gonna start, Nintendo can't start it, damn it. If games were to go to 80, Nintendo can't start it. GTA would have to start it. Like, I'm sorry. Because you know what's gonna happen? 2K is gonna be $80, and I'm gonna slap everybody that buys it. Like, because it's just like, it's like, y'all, everybody's out of their minds. 2K needs to just give you an upgrade patch every year.
Yo, if they if they start charging $80 for 2K, I am going to laugh myself. I'm not gonna lie, because that is a lot. Because you cannot even progress at that game or even have fun without microtransactions, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly. Like, I think you really can't enjoy that game unless you buy VC or dedicate your life to playing. Like, I don't think it's possible. And then they're charging full price. You made it so you have to buy microtransactions to get anywhere in the game, and then your game is full price. Come on, dog. Right. You might get away with selling more of your microtransactions if the game was a lower price. But like you said, people gonna buy this bullshit.
People are gonna buy it, bro. And I'm at this point, I'm not even necessarily saying that it's okay. But I will say there have been times where Nintendo has been very greedy but I don't think necessarily this is one of those times per se. Some aspects, yes, I would agree with you. I would agree with you in some aspects. But them charging $80 for Mario Kart, like I said, I don't know. We don't know yet what they're offering. But if they have another game where they're charging $80, my question is it them being greedy or is it the times that we are living in?
I think it's greed. Especially coming from Nintendo. Especially coming from Nintendo.
To be fair though, you can't really say that yet because a lot of these games that are coming out for Xbox and PlayStation have already been in development. Before we had these restrictions put on us, i.e. tariffs. And I mean, inflation is just getting worse these days. So we can't even say, I feel like we have to have this conversation again when, these goddamn development cycles start over essentially for these new games.
Yeah, it just has to make sense because, like I said, again, if everything, first of all, this tariff shit is finna fuck everybody over, and then it's like, if you're gonna charge 80, this whole like, they can't still this. Charging the same price for physical and digital is, first of all, has to stop. If y'all gonna keep going up, then make digital games cheaper. Like, if you can't keep making the price up, and then if I want the physical copy, which sometimes you don't get the full game on it, you still got to be connected. Yeah, and then supposedly you got this DRM shit with the virtual card shit on Switch, so you still need an internet connection to play some of them games. If you're going to do that, if you're going to keep going up on the price, they got to make it cheaper and make the physical more. I'll be more content with that because now it makes sense. I don't physically have it. Your servers might go down. Or your fucking systems might go down. You see, people couldn't play. I couldn't play PlayStation games a couple months ago for a few hours. That's when I'm like, this type of shit, I couldn't play a physical game, bro. I shouldn't have to deal with that if I'm paying more money now and you're not making the service shittier, but you're literally taking away my ability to interact with what I paid for.
Dog, I am laughing because I can hear the stress in your voice.
Gee, have you seen my content on Logic's Lens, bro? I've been pissed about this shit for years, bro.
Oh man, but look, going back to your point about digital and physical games, you would think the logical thing to do would be to essentially make digital games cheaper so that more people can buy. Exactly. You're incentivizing people to buy digital, and therefore you can then make the argument, look, people are going to buy digital anyway. They're buying digital way more than they're buying physical. Yes, it's cheaper, but they're obviously willing to buy digital. So why not just make everything digital? So I don't know, it makes sense to me. I'm a collector, so I love having physical, like, literally everything.
I prefer it if I can.
Yeah. But yeah, man, you're not wrong about Nintendo, but none of this doesn't surprise me because they've been like this since the 80s, Logics. You know how much bullshit they sold people and they bought it still?
Yeah.
What the fuck were they doing dropping the Virtual Boy? That shit was
Hey,
making people go blind.
Bro, I think that shit damaged me.
See?
I got the most headaches in my life off the Virtual Boy. Like, I used to play. First of all, it was stupid to even play. There was no comfortable way.
Dumb.
You sit in a chair hunched over. The shit is red. I used to lay in my bed and put it on my face, pause, and then like it still wasn't comfortable. It's sliding everywhere. You get sweat everywhere. That shit was ridiculous. Oh, I hated the Virtual Boy, and I still played it like an idiot. Oh my god.
Nintendo has been making us look like fucking morons for decades at this point. All right, this is just another step. This is just another step. And you know what? I hate to say it. It's not even that I'm loyal to Nintendo. I just love the goddamn AAA games that they drop, bro. I can't help it. Tears of the Kingdom, I was like a fucking crackhead playing that shit.
You know, I can't get into Zelda, man. I can't. I tried and I couldn't do it.
I don't know how.
Because
I don't know how.
I'm not now. See, some people love the whole free roam, do what you want. I don't like that shit. I don't like my handheld, but I do need some type of guidance. Don't just throw me in the world and be like, yeah, do what you want. Like, no, bro. I don't. Give me some type of direction. You end up running into bosses you have no business fighting. I can't climb walls. I was like, bro, this is overwhelming. He get too tired. I was like, no, bro, this ain't for me. This is just
so you would hate Elden Ring, obviously.
Yeah, that's why I've been resistant to buy Elden Ring, because like the difficulty and like the free roam and shit, and it seems like it's so many secrets and stuff to keep up with. No, that's why I didn't buy Elden Ring. I was gonna get that on a deep sale.
Good luck.
Good luck.
But that is what is exciting about those type of games, though, because especially with Zelda, don't get me wrong, Zelda is nowhere near as hard as Elden Ring. But when you free roam, you find the most random shit, and it's like, I don't know, it's satisfying where you randomly come across something, or you randomly come across like a piece of armor that you didn't even mean to get, and you're just like, oh shit, I got this. Where can I find the rest? And you just like, it is so fun. Like it's legitimately fun. But
I can imagine. It's just I think it just took a while for me to get there to that point.
I get it. And Tears of the Kingdom had a certain creativity that hasn't been seen. Well, we could say with Nintendo games in general. Yeah, it had like so much creativity. So that game was just, man, I was addicted, bro.
Yeah,
I
like
remember
I saw some of the shit people was building. It was crazy.
Yeah, bro. I remember on a Friday, for some reason, my old job loved to meet on Fridays. I fucking hated it, and we worked from home on Thursdays and Fridays. I hated it, bro. So what I would do is I would join these meetings, camera off, because some of them, like, I mean, the CEO, he always had the camera off. Yeah, camera off, just playing that bitch. And when I would hear my name, I would act like I knew what they were talking about, and I would catch on every time. Every time. That's how addicted to that game that I was. Now, to be fair, I can't do that shit with my job now. I gotta be alert. But that's how good that game was, bro.
Did you play Astral Chain?
I did actually. I like the
That
Astral
shit
Chain.
is fire. That's one of my. I played the hell out of that. I like My Friend Pedro. Did you play that? My Friend Pedro.
Nah.
That side scroll shooter.
Oh no, but I love
guy.
side scroll shooters.
Yeah,
Let me see.
It's pretty dope. It's like it's like you stylistically trying to get kills off and shit. It's like one of those, you jumping, ducking under tables, flipping over people, throwing knives at them, deflecting bullets, shit like that. This shit's dope.
I've seen this before. Oh man, I need to play this.
That shit's fire, bro. Like, I love that fucking game. I'm finna play it for y'all for those that ain't never seen it.
Yeah, no, I need to.
But yeah, I think I still didn't even beat. I still didn't even beat Astral Chain though. I didn't beat it. I got Bayonetta. I didn't beat Bayonetta.
I didn't beat Bayonetta either. You know what? I played because I got the collection, and I do not really care for Bayonetta. Like, for some reason, I thought I was gonna like it way more than what I actually did.
To be honest, this is my first Bayonetta.
Yeah, I went back because they had a collection on the Switch and they had 1 and 2. So I went back and played 1, and I was like, fuck. It was most definitely dated. And then I tried the second one. I could not get into it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why, because
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be similar to Devil May Cry.
I mean, it kind of. Excuse me, it kind of is, right? You don't feel like it is?
Kind of, but it doesn't give you that same feeling, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I liked it. I don't know what happened. I think I just got tired of the Switch in general. I don't know. I think
Probably.
that's what happened. That's why I didn't even finish Astral Chain. It was just shit like that. But
Let me ask you a question. So going back to the Switch 2, you said if they do have these price hikes where they have $80 games, Switch cannot be the first console to make that step. It either has to be PlayStation or Xbox. More, if we're being honest, it would be PlayStation before Xbox.
Right.
Why do you say that? Why is it that it can't be Nintendo?
Because they're okay. I will give them credit for Tears of the Kingdom because they did exactly what I think should be done, which is if their consoles aren't gonna have the graphical fidelity of current gen, if they can't measure up, the mechanics that they put in them games have to be something we've never seen before. Like you said, the creativity with Tears of the Kingdom and shit. I think that's what they have to start doing. They have to make me be wowed with what y'all putting in y'all games, since the graphics can't keep up with shit like I don't know what Cyberpunk is gonna. Matter of fact, I should go see.
Yo,
because that's when the fucking stream started fucking up. Was when they showed
You're
Cyberpunk,
absolutely right,
and I didn't see it.
I will say, so now, don't get me wrong, I know the Switch 2 isn't going to be as powerful as the PS5. Like, I know this. However, it is still capable of running games at 4K 60 frames per second. You can play Metroid at 4K 60 frames per second. That is absolutely fucking insane. So I will say that Nintendo it can most definitely be in the conversation now, and that's why we saw all those third-party developers, because they're like, "Oh shit, we can finally put our games on your system, man! Hell yeah, let's do it!" Because it can handle it now.
But now you say that like the 4K and stuff is cool, but can it do that with a game like Cyberpunk? Can it do that with a game like Warhammer Space Marine? Can it do that with Marvel Rivals? With all of that's Marvel Rivals got a lot going on as far as visuals. So can it do that running those type of games? That's what I'm saying. So
honestly,
you're gonna with the Switch, it seems like it's inevitably a give and take. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. We don't obviously we don't know, but I think it's possible. It's very possible, especially since in handheld it's 1080, 120, which is also insane. So the power may be there, man. And I will say, if we can run Cyberpunk comfortably on the Switch 2, while some fucking computer handhelds could not run it comfortably, then I would say that's a testament to how like quote powerful like the system is.
But
if it can run these games comfortably.
I think it's running it comfortably with downgraded visuals. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know. Like you could get the frames and shit, but the graphical fidelity. I mean, we have to pick and choose it now. You know what I'm saying? On the PS5,
we do.
We can't usually, unless you got a great PC, then you could do all that shit. But with the console, even our PS5s can't really handle it for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
For certain games, yeah.
Depending on the game. And I'm trying to see when they announced, did Elden Ring, did Cyberpunk have its own section?
It didn't. I think
they just said it.
No, I saw it was like a quick montage. It's in here somewhere.
I'm scrubbing.
But it was a super quick montage.
2K. Fucking 2K.
But yeah, man. I mean, I think it has potentially. It can handle it.
Here it go.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Open world action for the first. We are delighted to bring the immersive world of the dark future to Nintendo players for the first time. Cyberpunk 2077 is an open world action adventure RPG set in Night City. Thanks to Nintendo Switch 2, you can transport yourself to the city of dreams at home.
It's definitely not running at 60.
Or on the go.
Currently not running at 60, I would agree.
Bro, no. And of course, look, the fact that they got it is good. That's good.
Right.
I will say that.
unless this is like, I don't know why they would be showing this off in handheld mode, but unless it's in handheld mode. Now, or it's one of those games where you have to like sacrifice, performance versus, quality. So it may be running in 4K 30.
Yeah.
It's possible. Yeah, probably.
Get ready.
But
it's still kind of impressive.
Yes, that's why I said I will give him credit for getting it. First of all, that's a lot.
Course.
But you can tell looking at Johnny, is the graphics is definitely toned down.
To meet unforgettable characters.
Definitely, it's giving me like good PS3 vibes.
And this.
Okay, all right. I would not go there. That's crazy.
The in motion stuff. I ain't talking about cutscenes.
When Cyberpunk 2077.
I mean, that was to be fair, that was a good. Okay, PS4
Ultimate Edition.
Okay, I'll take that. I was about to say PS3 is
comes to Nintendo
PS4.
Switch 2 on launch day.
I ain't get this
not
too
bad.
much.
Oh, now Final Fantasy. That's a good one. You should let it play because I wasn't able to really see it. Is this Final Fantasy or is this?
スクエアエニックスの浜口です。
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Nintendo Switch 2 で
this is also a good
ファイナルファンタジ
indicator.
ー7リメイクインターグレードを発売いたします。
I
本作は
played this in
ミッドガル脱出までを描い
Yeah,
た
most definitely.
3部作シリーズの一作目となり
Finish it.
20年以上の時を経て再創作された新しい
Yeah,
FF7 を体験いただきます。
Yeah, for sure.
スイッチ2で展開す
Looks
る
good though.
FF7 リメイクシリーズにぜひご期待ください。
That's fair.
That's what I'm saying. Look, for some reason with Nintendo, it's baby steps because like we know they prioritize their games over graphics.
Yeah.
So it's always baby steps. But
I'm wondering when we're gonna get a new Smash. If we're gonna get a new. I was sitting there at the edge of my chair like, bro, please show us a Super Smash.
Nigga, we are not going to get. Sakurai said, "I am done." He said, "I am tired." Yeah, he said he's
who's
good.
The developer. I mean, the head of the what's it called?
That company, Sora and Bandai. Yeah, he
said he's done.
Yeah, he was the developer. Yeah, he said he's done. I don't know. I don't know if they were to basically what he said was if they were to make another Smash Brothers game, it wouldn't be the same because Ultimate was obviously like a pipe dream that just so happened to work.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of all of the goddamn, guest characters.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, it's kind of unbelievable. You got Sora
Yeah,
sitting there. Like.
yeah, it's crazy. So he wants to work on other things. That's why we saw, Kirby Air Ride pop up, which is dope. I mean, I love Kirby's Air Ride. I used to rent that shit all the time.
I never had heard of it. I was never big into Kirby.
Yeah.
So I didn't know much about it. Is it a racing game?
Yeah, it's a racing game, but it's also
Flight?
it was low key like it was an early open world type racing game, low key. So it was a little bit before its time, but it was so fun. Like I love that game. So when I saw that, I was like, oh man, that the nostalgia all came back. I was happy. I really wish that it was Smash, but
I'm gonna look it up because I never heard of it. Now this is also some bullshit. I know you saw. You know what this part is, right?
Wait, are you talking about the mouse in general?
No, not the mouse.
Oh,
the paying for the demo hardware game.
Oh, bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Now, I would say the only way that they would be able to justify this if they say, oh, if you pay for Nintendo Online, you get this for free. Then I'd be like, okay, whatever.
Maybe, cool. But even there, you're not letting us test out the damn thing for free. Like, and you know how good Astro's Playroom is for free, bro.
Oh yeah, it's fucking amazing.
So it's like, what is like? Come on, and this honestly, this look cool for what it is. It looks cool, but I gotta pay for this shit. I don't care if it's $10.
I need to see that price point. I need to know how much you are charging for this bullshit.
Let me see if it's anywhere.
I don't think so. Not that I've seen. Not that I've seen, but I saw that and I was like, pay?
Why would you make people pay?
Yeah, that's so stupid. This would be like a fun thing you just let people play.
Oh man!
Like you said to test out the the system.
Yeah. It's first Nintendo game to sell 0 copies. I can't imagine anybody paying for it. You got to be an idiot. You figure that shit out.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the only way that I would do it would just to be like just to show it off on stream, but I don't think I can do that, man. I can't fade it. That's stupid.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think.
I see they saying they guessing it's gonna be like $7.
Even then, that's too much money.
No, that's absolutely ridiculous.
If they would have sold it for $3, I'd have been like, okay, maybe
like $3.
Yeah, like maybe.
You said maybe.
Yeah, but even then, it's a fucking maybe because it didn't really look like there was much to it.
Yeah, like when I saw it, I was like, okay. I was like, teach you how to do everything, but it's like, bro.
Oh yeah, they gonna milk you.
Wait, Tron, I never said I'm not getting a Switch 2. I said I'm not paying $80 for Mario. If I don't get the bundle, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. If I don't get the bundle with Mario Kart, I'm not gonna get it because it makes no sense whatsoever.
Nigga, you are angry. You know damn well you're not getting this shit anytime soon.
What you mean? No, I mean, first of all, it's too much, bro. Chris Brown just dropped his shit. We trying to go to that. The Switch in 2 months. Something gonna have to give. I don't know.
Ooh, you gonna take pictures with Chris Brown? Yes. Yo, make sure he holds you up.
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to get a damn seat in that bitch, and that's why I can't even do that. I damn sure ain't paying no stack. But I'm not gonna pay $80 for it. You think I'm playing? I told you I didn't even pay for my PlayStation Plus subscription till Black Friday. I kind of got lucky with my PS5. I knew somebody that worked at Walmart and I got their discount. But you said I'm not because I ain't buying no new system for at least. This man said I ain't buying no new system for at least 2 years. You still ain't got a new system. You ain't got the current. It's been 5 years. Why you ain't upgrade, bro? It's been 5 years. I know it don't feel like it, but it's been 5 years. Hold you up, legs wrapped around his waist. See, you adding shit, man. You adding shit. But no, I'm dead ass. I'm not paying $80. If Donkey Kong could justify itself for $70, I told you I'm okay with $70. I'm okay with $70.
Yeah, I think it is. It's quite.
I'm okay with $70.
So the way now that we know what we know, essentially, it's justified for me because I'm like, okay, so they're doing with Mario Kart what they are doing with Tears of the Kingdom, but instead of 70, it's going to be 80, and 70 is going to be the new normal. I'm okay with that just as long as the fucking games are delivering, which when it comes to Nintendo, they usually do with their big titles. So I'm not really tripping too much. But that paying $80 for a Mario Kart, that's gonna suck. But I do want the bundle. I want the bundle.
Yeah. Honestly, you feel like you're getting cheated if you don't get the bundle. You know what I'm saying? Because, I wouldn't even feel right not getting it because I know my wife. I personally am not even a big Mario Kart fan. I play it, but she loves that shit. So I can't just not get it if I could get it for $50. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. So my wife likes Mario Kart too.
Yeah. So I have to get it with that. And then, you feel better. Okay, I got this game for $50. Then everything else, you figure it out as you go.
Facts. But now, pre-ordering this bitch, this is about to be very interesting.
To my understanding, they're trying. I mean, I don't know how far this pre-ordering is going to go, but I kept hearing that they're going to try to have as much product out for everybody.
I don't know how.
I don't know how, but the claim is to not have scalpers and to not have people not able to get it. That's what I heard.
So, I mean, I know they took measures to do that.
I got it.
They took measures to do that with pre-orders on their own website. Like you had to play for a certain amount of hours. Like there were particular stipulations for their website. But I mean, you can't prevent that shit with Best Buy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Amazon.
Yeah. I mean,
Now,
I guess between all retail options, hopefully it'll work. Hopefully. Yeah.
Now, here is something that I will tell you guys in the chat if you didn't know this. So with Amazon, if you can, it's best to try to pre-order your systems through Amazon because they do not charge your card until that bitch ships.
Oh, that's decent.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how I got my PlayStation 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got lucky somehow. Somebody sent a link through Twitter and we found it, and me and both of my brothers were able to get a PS5 like day one, which was crazy because that shit was hard. And that was COVID, height of COVID.
Yeah, I got lucky, man. Oh shit. I got lucky. One of my fraternity sisters, she worked at Walmart. She's like, "You trying to get a PlayStation?" I said, "Hell yeah!" Sent her the bread, got that bitch at a discount.
At a discount?
Yes, her employee discount got her the PS5 at Walmart, and I think I got it maybe a few weeks after it dropped. It was a couple weeks after.
Oh really? Oh, you got it really goddamn.
I got it. I got it in 2020.
Oh, that's dope. And you got it at a discount because if it wasn't discounted, you wasn't gonna get it.
I mean, no, we was planning to get it. We just couldn't get it. We just didn't. With the day it dropped, we was online. I think it dropped on my birthday. We was trying to get it and we didn't. And she hit me a few weeks later and I got that shit.
Got you. But yeah, I mean, to sum this thing up, see, like we don't necessarily disagree.
Right.
I just think I know you aren't necessarily surprised either, but I'm just like shrugging my shoulders because I'm like, I mean,
yeah,
you
I'm
can
not
say
surprised.
people,
It's just
yeah, yeah, you can say people, we need to boycott and all that, but at the end of the day, people are going to buy what they want to buy, and we cannot stand together. Like Nicole mentioned before, we can't even stand together with important fucking topics and in situations like just these tariffs and politics and you know the cost of living, the price of groceries. We cannot all come to a consensus. How the fuck are we gonna come together with the goddamn video games? This is entertainment, bro. We need food to live.
Entertainment shit. Hey, to be fair though, the Target boycotts was working because they've been losing money. That's been confirmed. Target has been losing money, so that's a start.
That's very true. That is confirmed. It is a start. It is a start. But I will say, my black ass most definitely has went into Target. And it's not because I was saying fuck the boycott. Apparently, my wife because my wife shops at Super Target, bro. They have great deals, and she was like, "Nah, we saving money. We shopping at fucking Target."
I just saw somebody on my Facebook. He was like, "Hey, I know y'all trying to boycott, but these Target Circle deals going on right now is just too much. So I'm sorry. Forgive me. I'm going."
That's what I'm saying.
He said that like 2 days ago or something. I saw that. I haven't been to Target. I like Target. I don't need nothing out of there though, and I didn't look at the sale, so I don't know.
Right, and to be fair, I mean, if you don't have like a Super Target, I don't know if you do.
I don't.
Yeah, so I was about to say if you don't have like a Super Target near you, then it probably isn't worth it because in Super Target they sell a shit ton of produce. They have a kitchen, like yeah, they have a lot in there. So I wasn't even aware until I moved where I am now, and I was like, what the fuck is Super Target? They have a super version.
They scare us around me.
Yeah, no, I most definitely hear you.
I'm finna have to wrap up because I didn't plan to get the kids, but I have to because of an emergency.
Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Everything all right?
No, yeah, it's cool. She was gonna get them, but she got held up and couldn't. She ain't gonna make it to them in time. So.
Okay.
Get them.
Gotcha.
Wild Hearts S. What's S?
I have no idea.
I like Wild Hearts, but okay, whatever. But yeah, what you gonna say?
I was about to say, but see, yeah, we don't even necessarily disagree all that much on this topic. But however, White Castle is still fucking gross, bro. you need to stop eating that shit. You need to stop. Your insides are screaming at you.
I would have just kicked you from the moment you said that. If I was looking at the fucking chat, I would have just kicked you.
You need to fucking
eat
stop
some White
eating
Castles,
that
man.
shit.
You'll feel better.
No, yo, he is trying to make your intestines scream. Do not eat White Castle. There is no reason why you should be putting buns on raw meat.
Bro, that's probably just what you saw there, man. That's probably nothing.
The fuck you? That's how they cook it.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's how they cook it.
Oh shit.
All right, get out of here, fool.
All right, yeah.
All right, I'll talk to you later, man. Peace.
All right, y'all. I gotta end the stream a little early, but should have some videos out later today. Definitely tomorrow. But if you made it to this point in the stream, make sure you leave a like, comment, sub. If not one, then all three. And I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Peace.